right, little wiggles girls, say happy Saturday. Thanks for joining us for a great workout. Rizzo wanted to show off her new winter haircut. Come back. Everybody's looking at how pretty you are. Come here. Yes, so here she is, all her completely freezing glory because she's a teeny girl with no hair and her sparkly rhinestone bow. Ow! So there's your feel good before we start feeling bad good here in just a little bit. All right, she's gonna come say hello. She's gonna go say hello. There she is. All right, I'm gonna pass her off. All right. Oh, extreme root close up. Whoa. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me today. As you can see, we're getting a little festive here at Strong Style Fitness. For those of you that don't know me, I am crazy about Halloween. It's my absolute favorite. In fact, if you've never noticed, I'm sure you've seen it, but never really checked it out, this tattoo back here is actually a Halloween decoration that my family had when I was growing up. So it was kind of my way to nod to owls and to Halloween and to family. So that's how important Halloween is to me. I actually have a copy of this Halloween decoration, like a for reals one from the late 70s that my lovely best friend got me. So maybe I'll bring that into the frame next time so you guys can see it. So yes, we're getting a little festive. Maybe it'll get even more and more as we get a little closer to Halloween. If you could see my front yard, you would definitely understand that this is minimal for us. So guys, all right, I want to make sure that we have time to get through our workout 3 times today. So I'm going to keep it super fast from here on out. What you're going to need as far as equipment goes, you're going to need your full weight selection. I say that just because we're going to be moving quick. So I want you to have all of your weight options kind of right in front of you and ready to go. So you're not having to scramble for weight. So just go ahead and grab yourself, a light, medium, heavy, so that you're set, you're ready to go, you're ready to rock and roll. I have not set mine up, but all my weights are sitting right here beside me, so not the biggest deal. Also didn't want it too cluttered with all my Halloween decorations too. The only other thing you're going to need besides your weight selection is a little bit of space on the wall. We're not going to be doing anything too crazy, so just space for you to kind of have your hands. That's all you're going to need. And then your yoga mat, of course, floor support, whatever it is that keeps you comfy in the floor. We do have a little bit of work in the floor today. So what we're doing is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 workout. If you haven't done one of those with me before, we work for 5 minutes, take a break, 4, 3, 2, 1, with just short breaks in between. The breaks do get shorter as the amount of work gets shorter. So that first break between 5 and 4 is going to be pretty substantial. I think it's about 1.5 minutes or so. And then it will get shorter from there on out. So the moves that we're doing today is nothing too complicated because I know that we're moving fast. I didn't want to waste a minute of work by talking for 45 seconds of it. So we're going to move fast. So it's nothing too complicated today. Mostly just some basic exercises. That doesn't mean easy. It just means not really learning anything new today. That's not really our goal. Our goal is to move fast, to get a great workout in, and that's really it. So that's why we're going to keep it simple, but really effective today. It's full body, so we're going to have a leg set, an arm set, a set that's a little combination of both, and finish the last 2 minutes and 1 minute are going to be core exercises. So we've got lower, upper, combination, core is kind of how we're working today. Again, we're going to move quickly. I want to get through this 3 times without getting too far over sort of the hour limit that I try to keep our work within. As always, add music if you need it, especially today when we're moving fast and hard. Definitely days that I miss having music. Modify as needed. I will do my best to give you some modification ideas, but just remember, in general, do what feels comfortable. If something's hurting your joints in a painful joint kind of way, back it out. You don't have to get out of the exercise, just maybe drop your weight or don't squat so low. Things like that. That's kind of your first key for modification. If something's just not working at all for you, just let me know. Leave me a comment either now or send me a message if you're watching later. I'd be happy to help you modify. The last couple things, as always, I will be checking Facebook for those questions. And the last couple things I always ask is just please share these workouts, share these videos, tell your friends what you're doing, be proud of yourself, encourage them to follow the great example that you are leading. And lastly, if you would like to Venmo any donations for these classes, it is sincerely appreciated. It is the only payment I receive for these classes. I'm not sponsored or backed by anyone for doing these, so they are greatly appreciated. Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me. All right, guys, I'm gonna grab a sip of water, check our video, and then we're gonna get started. So we're gonna start with leg exercises. Your weights are actually optional here. I might opt for some weights for some, not for others. But weights are kind of how you want it. Some of the exercises we'll do with just one weight, some you could do with two. So that's why I said grab your full weight selection so everything you might want is there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that also. I'm still, recovering knees, trying to take care of them. So I'm gonna set some out that I might want, but there might be some that I do absolutely no weight for. So it is totally your option. I'm not going to really guide you on that. I'll tell you how you can hold the weights if you want to do them, but I'm not going to give you cues as far as go heavy here or go lighter here, because weights are totally optional in the leg portion, the first 5 minutes. Okay, water, video, we're going to get going. All right. Perfect, guys. So what I'm going to do, because my timer is just a little off screen here, I'm going to show you the first exercise so you'll be ready to move and you can get started right away. So we're going to do a goblet squat first. If you're to hold a weight, you can hold it here like a goblet, or you can hold it here like a bow tie. Goblet squat, we go a little wider than normal, so we're a little bit extended beyond hip width. We have our toes slightly pointed out, not sumo squat, just slightly pointed out. And then we set our hips back, as always, into that squat, and we come up. So that's what your goblet looks like. That's what our first minute is going to be, and then I'll sort of give you a preview as we get to the next exercise, the next, and the next. All right, so go ahead and get your goblet set up. I'm gonna hit the timer. When you hear, I don't think there's a noise, so I'm just gonna tell you there's not like a starting noise. So I'm just gonna say go, and then I'll jump in right behind you. All right, we're gonna go in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go, let's work. Right. So for goblet, if you're holding here, down and up. You gotta find kind of that comfortable spot where you're not so sumo-y close. There we go. It's a good hip opener. Just make sure if you're holding your weight, you've got your shoulders down and away from your ears. I feel like my shoes are crackling, my legs are crackling, my hips are crackling. I don't have any real music. All right, guys, we got about 15 seconds here. So you can really move at your pace, whatever feels good. This is my first movement of the day, aside from some stretching. So I am not moving super quick, just letting my body sort of warm up. Perfect. All right, so we've got alternating back lunges. So we're going to stand to the front of our mat, and we're going to step back and down and up. So you just want to make sure, as always, that your knee is behind your toes, tracking over that ankle. Slightly ahead of the ankle is okay, but always behind the toes. If you're holding weights, you could hold weights down by your side here if you want to go for weights. For me, I'm more working range of motion. That's where my challenge is, so I'm not going to hold any weights. Sometimes with knee pain, a front lunge might feel better than a back, or back to front. So if a back lunge is painful for you for any reason, then do front lunge instead. All right, so now we have a sumo squat. So we're going to go wide, wide, wide now. Toes more like a 10 and 2. Weight hanging here. We open. So we want our knees going the same direction as our toes. Not over our toes, but moving in that same direction. Our goal is to touch this weight to the ground, but only if we can do that without bending over. We want to stay standing straight and tall. Again, if you're like me, this is your first movements of the day. You probably feel a little stiff in this. It'll feel better as you get on, your hips start to open. I'm also super tight in my hips today after a pretty intense spin ride on Thursday. All right, so now we've got alternating curtsy lunge. So you'll start towards the center of your mat. You step back like a princess, curtsy, and forward. And we alternate to the other side. So the legs, probably starting to feel it. Hang in there, make sure you're keeping good form. The arms are totally optional, little princess skirt arms. Definitely optional here. We got about 15 seconds. Whoop, I just kicked my pumpkin man. Might have to move him. Because I'm going to move him. All right, guys. Last is an alternating lateral lunge. So lateral lunge, we step out to the side, set our hips back, and come to the middle. So I know I'm probably stepping off screen a little bit, so I'll show you one where I stay in screen for sure. We step out to the side, you want your toes in line, hips, sit back. We come up. So normally we do single-sided, so I'm able to kind of stay in the frame for you. This one, since we're alternating, not able to quite stay in the frame. The main thing here is just to make sure that those hips are still sitting back and that you're not jetting your knee out over your toes. I'll do one towards the center again so that we're sitting back, not lunging forward. All right, guys, that's our break. We got a minute. I'm gonna move my little pumpkin man so I don't kick him again. I think I'm just gonna let him sit maybe right here. Let's see if that works. There we go. Maybe he won't be in the way there. And I think I have enough space for everything else. All right, so we have overhead press coming up next here. We have a reverse fly here. We have a row here, and we have bicep curls. So that's what we're looking at for our next set. So that's all upper body. So go ahead and situate those weights wherever you want them for our upper body set. Again, no new exercises here. We're not throwing any curveballs at you. We've got about 5 seconds. All stuff we've seen before, but I want you to be able to pick up quick and move effectively. All right, so we've got our overhead press. We're here. We push up overhead and down. Good. 3, 4. You want to stop right about that shoulder height or a little bit below. I just realized I was counting. I don't need to count. We're going for a minute. I was kind of curious how many reps you do in a minute. Woo. So yeah, we're doing a little more than what our normal rep count would be in a minute. Not by much. Just be mindful in your weight selection. That it is a couple extra reps. So if you're already pushing, we got reverse fly. If you're already pushing your max weight, you might have to come down a little. So reverse fly. We're here. We've got a little bit in our elbows. Chest is proud. Squeeze back through our shoulders and down. So it's like you're trying to grab a pencil between your shoulder blades. This is one I definitely suggest. going towards the lighter end of what you think, so you can really isolate those muscles that you want to work. If you go too heavy in this exercise, like you hear me preach a lot, you're going to be pulling through your neck, through your traps, all sorts of muscles you're not really meaning to work. Perfect. So now we've got our row. So row, we usually go a little bit heavier on. And we get a lot of breath from doing this work back to back. So row, we sit forward, again, proud chest, core engaged. We pull straight back, squeezing those muscles down in our back. So I want you to really relax that neck, relax those shoulders, and think a lot more about your back muscles. That's what's squeezing back in this row. We've got bicep curls coming up, just over 15 seconds. Good job. It's a long time to move, you know, especially when you're doing heavy weights. You're used to more 8 to 12 reps. All right, bring it up. We've got bicep curl. I'll let you pick whatever sort of curl you want to do. You can do a twist, you can do a hammer, or you can do the traditional grip. Here, I'll let you pick whichever one you want to work. I don't do hammers too often, so I'm going to do some hammers. It's a great way to get some cardio in these 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s with these short breaks, consistent, continual movement. I think we've really only got one exercise today that can be traditional, sort of traditional cardio that we'll get to in minute 2, or the 2-minute block, I should say. Woo! All right, guys, we've got a 45-second break now. So we're going to do Spider-Man push-ups, which will be done on the wall for most of us. And then we're going to do deadlift, and then we're going to do a bridge with a skull crusher. So we're going to use the wall, then we're going to be standing, and we're going to be on the floor. So your Spider-Man push-up, I'll go ahead and just kind of pre-coach a little bit. You're going to set up on the wall, hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to back your body up. So where your body is sort of determines the challenge. So if you're far back away from the wall, then you're going to be a little bit harder. If you're more straight up, it's a little bit easier. So we push up, we drop our elbows down and out. And then to make it a Spider-Man, we lift one leg up and to the outside. Now you want to keep your shoulders square. When I turn to talk to you, you'll notice my body turns, but that's not the appropriate form. We want to drop our chest straight down, push up. We're up on our tippy toes so we can be more mobile. But you don't have to be up on your tippy toes like a calf raise. Just elevated heels. Make sure that knee is coming out and in. So it's coming to the outside of your body, not to the inside. All right, so we got our deadlift now. So that's going to be heavier weights. And you know, I like to coach a deadlift to death. Just don't have time for that today. So we've got a flat back, a little bend in those knees. We iron our pants down while we sit our hips back. And we squeeze to the top. I definitely should have grabbed a heavier set of weights. I'll do that next round. This is when you can usually go heavier with. Got a lot of power in those glutes and those hips. Work weight back towards your heels. Keeping those weights really close by. Right, down to the floor. We gotta move pretty quickly. So we're gonna come down to the floor. We're gonna do a bench press. We're gonna do a bridge with a skull crusher. This is probably too heavy, but let's give it a shot. So we're gonna bridge up, and then we skull crush back. We drop the weights back, up. So we've got our arms at 11. We're dropping the weights down, squeezing to the top, holding that bridge the entire time. You're squeezing those glutes, driving up. Watch your knees, don't let your knees flare out. Keep them in. Where's your bridge? Pay attention. Whew. All right. We've got a short break, about 30 seconds. Then we're going to our 2 minutes of core and then 1 minute of core. So we're doing a low plank jack, sort of evaluating my space. Plank jacks are a hard one for me because I don't have a ton of space, but it's a great exercise, so I fight the struggle so we can do it. So a plank jack. All right, I'm gonna demonstrate, and then I'm gonna come slightly out of frame probably. So plank jack, we hold our plank, and then we hop out and in, out and in. Or modification is to step out, step in, step out, step in. You can jump as wide as you want in these plank jacks. I have to be careful. If I jump too far, it puts some pressure on my knees that I don't want. So when I'm not modifying and I'm doing full plank, I just keep my jacks a little shorter. If I'm modifying, I do bring it out quite a bit further. Pushing up energetically through those hands. Don't collapse. Woo! Oh man, I'm sure all that upper body work. All right, so we've got a waterfall crunch with a cross tap. So waterfall's here, our feet straight up to the ceiling. We're gonna lift through our chest like a string is pulling us up, and we're gonna cross, come down, cross to the other side. So we're not pulling through our head. We have a string that's pulling us up from our chest. And we're just keeping our head in line with our body. So don't start pulling through your head. Just keep your head in line and cross. If you need to do a little head support, you can definitely do that. Just make sure sometimes when we add that support with our hand, we actually kind of make it worse because we start pulling. Good. We got another break, and we got a 1 minute V-sit hold. So yeah, what I was saying about that crunch is sometimes we make it worse when we support because we put like our whole hand back here and we start to pull. So sometimes when we try to support, we make it sort of worse. So when you support, just try to do fingertips. That way you're limited in how much you can pull through your head. You really don't want to pull through your head and neck. All right, V-sit. Woo, it's gonna be 1 minute. So get yourself set. Start, put your hands under your knees, pull your chest up nice and high, then lean yourself back, let go. That might be enough of a V-sit for you. If you've got more to give, pick those shins up. That chest stays tall though. If you start falling and rocking back, come back to here. You need to be able to stay tall. Chest, again, that string pulling you up to the ceiling. Think flat across that midsection. Pelvic floor, up and in. Try to not just hold yourself with your hip flexors. Really try to make it be your core. If you want to go further, you can straighten legs. That's an option too. My quads are so tight, that's a painful option for me right now, so I'm gonna stay here. Awesome, guys. We have 2 minutes. That's the end of our first round. So, we've got 2 minutes to catch our breath, get water, reset whatever we need our weights to be for these exercises. So we were going back to that leg set. So, I don't think I ended up, well, I did use the 10s at some point, so I'll leave those out. I don't think I used them for the legs though. So we've got our goblet squat, alternating back lunge, sumo squat, alternating curtsy, alternating lateral. So those are the things that we have coming up. So get your weights set up for that if you want it. If you're gonna use them, chances are you're gonna have 2 out to your sides at some point, 1 heavy to your chest at some point. So we got 1:20, no rush. I'm gonna check on the video. Perfect, looks like we're looking good. So I know this is different when we move fast like this. You guys are used to my coaching, to taking some breaks, to really, even discuss the exercises, things like that. So this is different, but it's great. It's also kind of not weaning you off of me because that's not my intent, but I'm not gonna be at the gym with you if you take a workout to Planet Fitness, something like that. So I also want you to get used to learning these exercises and not just counting on me to tell you exactly how you need to move. I want you to be able to learn it too. So of course I'm going to keep coaching, and of course I'm going to help you as we do these exercises, but I just want you to get also used to faster pace and not having such intense instruction every time that you work out. All right, we've got 20 seconds, just under 20 now. So go ahead and start thinking about goblet squat. Let's see. That's here. All right. We're at 5 seconds. I'm going to hold my here this time. Holding here, if you have a problem with your shoulders rounding forward, holding here gives you a little more space. All right, we've got our toes slightly flared out, feet wider than hips, but not as wide as sumo. Down, push up. So we want that weight always back towards the back of our feet. We never want to be up on our toes. Unless someone tells you in an exercise specifically to be on your toes, which would be rare, calf raise, maybe in a bar class, but in general, when exercising, you don't want to be up on your toes. You always want that weight mid-foot towards the back of the foot. If you find yourself somebody who's always up on your toes and you just can't seem to figure it out, take a look at your shoes. If you're wearing running shoes, a lot of them are made to project you forward. All right, alternating back lunge. So yeah, running shoes are generally made to give you a trajectory of forward. So if you're lifting weights in running shoes, and you're like, what the heck is going on here? I can't get off my toes. I hear her say it, I know to do it, but I cannot. Take your shoes off. See what it feels like barefoot. I'm not saying you have to work out barefoot, but that'll tell you real quick if the problem's in your shoes. All right, so remember you can also do front lunge here if that's more comfortable for any pain that you might have in your knees. Otherwise, we're stepping back. We're keeping those knees behind the toes. You'll see I'm dropping my back knee to the ground, but that's totally optional. You just go as low as you can. All right, so we got sumo squat now. So we grab our heavy weight. We step very wide now, shoulders back and down, weight hangs down. We take our tail, squeeze that booty. We drop straight down, we lift up. Really think about zipping those legs up like a zipper when you stand. Goal here is to touch your weight to the floor, but that is only, as I mentioned earlier, if you can do it and keep your chest forward. Not do that. Chest high, tap if you can. Otherwise, just come as low as you can. Stand back up. Zip those weights up. Beautiful. All right, we've got alternating curtsy lunge. So again, this is one I'm gonna go out of the frame a little bit probably. Actually, no, I think we'll get a curtsy. So we step back like a little princess with our skirts. Again, just go to whatever low is comfortable for you. It's gonna be a tough one for people with knee pain. So just be mindful. Exercise should be tough. It should be challenging. It should probably burn a little, but it shouldn't be painful. They say, no pain, no gain. That's not exactly true. Whew. All right, friends, now this is the one I'm going to step out of frame. I'll do one so you can see me. We've got lateral lunge. We step out wide. We shift our weight. Our hips come back. And then we come back to center. We're taking light steps. Shouldn't hear a big thud when you step out to the side. Should be a light step. You want to try to keep your feet on the same plane, kind of even when you step out. Don't let your step out foot get way ahead or way behind your planted foot. Good job, guys. I know those legs are screaming. It's our last exercise of this round. All right, we've got a minute here. Let that heart rate simmer down just a little bit. So we're moving to upper body. We've got our overhead press, our reverse fly, our row, our bicep curl. So yeah, any of that, those lower body exercises, you know, if something's bothering you, just don't go quite so low. My knees are doing so much better than I have in years, but I still noticed that last set of curtsy lunges we just did, it was getting a little uncomfortable. So next round, in that specific curtsy lunge, I'm just gonna pay attention, I'm gonna listen, I'm not gonna go so low. It's really not a big deal. Also check your space. Because I'm restricted in space, I think sometimes my form gets a little bit off because I'm worried about kicking something around me. So just make sure, take that out of the equation. I'm limited because I have to stay in front of the camera, but you don't. So try to give yourself as much space as possible so that's not a contributing factor to any bad form. It's the amount of space that you have. I get really paranoid that I'm going to kick the wall or I'm going to kick the weight set. So make sure you're keeping those shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Your weights, your arms should not be touching the sides of your head when you come up. There should be a gap. I'm not going to show you the bad form with this heavy of a weight in my hand, but if you've seen any of my videos before, you definitely know what I'm talking about here. 15 seconds, just a little less. Whew. Weights are getting heavy. Whew. All right, we got our reverse fly. So for a lot of us, we drop the weight a little bit for reverse fly. I'm not telling you what to do, just something to be mindful of. So we're here, we've got a bend in our elbows. We keep that bend in our elbows. We lead with the elbows. We squeeze back. Between those shoulder blades. We're keeping our neck long, shoulders down. Whew, sweat is coming. About 15 seconds. and then bicep curl. Whew. All right, so we have our row. Usually, that means heavier weights. Have a nice flat back. We're gonna bend just a little bit. Weights come down. Keep those shoulders back. Elbows pull. Again, we're leading with elbows here. Try to get those elbows back behind your trunk. Just be mindful you're not shrugging your shoulders up. Your shoulders are down. Think of those big muscles in your back. Pull it. Good job, guys. We're under 15. Under 5. All right. We got bicep curl. Whew. Out of breath from upper body work, right? Time gets moving at this pace. It's good for us. You know, and you notice that we're moving quickly from exercise to exercise. We're not speeding up the reps. So we're moving quickly, but we're not being fast. There's no benefit, and I'm not gonna do it with these heavy weights, but just slinging those weights up and down. I see it so much. You wanna move slow and controlled. 1, 2, 3, 4 is about the right pace. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really allows those muscles to engage, make those muscles work. Whew. That is our break, guys. Whew. Take yourselves a minute, actually 45 seconds, now 36 seconds. Man. So yeah, we're moving quickly from exercise to exercise and breaks, but we're not doing bicep curls like this. That's just really no way to move. I don't know how to say it other than if you're doing all of this swinging and throwing weights around, your muscles don't have time to activate and to work. Spider-Man push-up. Here we go. It's got hands under shoulders. We elevate off our heels a little bit so we have room to move, engage that core. I struggle with wall push-ups because where I want to set up, there's this outlet in the wall. And so I find I always end up doing something weird with my right hand. Every time I watch a video back, I'm like, oh man, I see this hand, right hand's doing something weird, trying to work around the outlet. And I guess I could just work out off center for this exercise and avoid the outlet. All right, so we got deadlifts. So this is going to be possibly your heaviest weight, at least for the whole two weights. We got flat back, bending those knees. Flat back brings you down. Iron those pants. When I say iron those pants, I'm trying to get you to keep those weights close to your body. If you have these heavy weights and you let them just dangle out in front of you, you are killing your lower back. So if you do deadlifts and you're like, all I feel is my lower back, or it hurts my lower back, check where your weights are. Chances are you're letting them dangle out in front of you, and that will do it. Good job, guys. Whew. All right, we've got our bridge with skull crushers. So down to the floor. I'm gonna wise up grab the right weights for this one. So hopefully you're already there. You've got your arms at 11, holding your bridge up, and we drop straight down, up. So just check in on that bridge. You want your feet about hip width apart. You want your knees in line. So you don't want your knees flared open. You're squeezing through that booty. Driving through those heels. Our skull crushers, we have arms at 11. We drop from the elbows straight back. Woo! All right. We've got 25 seconds. And we've got our low plank jacks and our waterfall lift. So I know I had written, and I think I just said low plank jacks, but we're doing high plank jacks, and that is just fine by me. There we go. All right. So you do have the option, if you want to do a low plank jack, you can come down to your elbows and do your plank jack from there. I will let you make your selection. We've got wide starfish hands up into our beautiful plank, and then we hop out and in. And keeping that core flattened, pelvic floor, up and in. By having that pelvic floor engaged, of course that helps us build our lower abs, but it also helps take exercise out of our hip flexors when they're not intended for hip flexors. If at any point this becomes too much, drop to modification here. Woo! All right, we've got that waterfall with a cross tap. So waterfall, we're on our backs. Woo! We have our feet straight up. A string pulls our chest up, and we cross. If you need to support your head lightly. Don't pull your head. Keep your head, your neck, your spine all in line. Control movement. We're not jerking ourselves up. Control. Squeeze and lift. Beautiful, guys. All right. Stay on the floor. We have our V-sit hold coming up in about 20 seconds. So I'll go through kind of that progression for you again, and I really want you to be mindful and hear me out. I'm actually going to do it from the side this time. On when you need to modify. V-sit is one where we really hate to omit when we need to. So I'm going to show you some things to pay attention to so you know, okay? All right, so first we sit up tall, hands underneath our knees, lightly, engage that core, chest comes out, and then we sit back. Then we let go. This might be enough. It's perfect if it's enough. The next step is to lift your shins and to hold here. Only if you can keep that chest tall. If you find yourself doing this, come back to here. You can also meet in the middle and alternate. So if you're not quite to level 2, but level 1's too easy, you can alternate. Or level 3 is to be here. I really want you to think about plugging those shoulders back, arms into their sockets, chest proud and tall. Again, if you start collapsing back, come back to here. Good job. We just really hate to admit when we start falling back that we're not doing the exercise correctly anymore. We're like, no, I'm still go to the modification. Again, there's no shame in modification, guys. That's the point of modifications, are to do it until you get to the point that you're strong enough that you don't need to modify. We get these egos about us that we think we're brand new to exercise, and we come in and we're like, I should be able to hold a V-sit for a minute. Why? Why do you think that? No, you shouldn't be able to. Same goes for when you've been really fit, working out for a long time. You're like, I should be able to lift 25 pounds, or I should be able to do 20 full push-ups. Not necessarily, you know? We just get these assumptions that, well, I've been doing it for X, so X should happen. No. So we modify. We modify till we get stronger and stronger until we can do the full version. No pain, no issues, great form. That's the point. All right, guys, I'm going to check on the video. We got about 40 seconds left. All right, we're going to go through one more time. We've got about just under 30 seconds. So we've got goblet squat, alternating back lunge, sumo squat, alternating curtsy, alternating lateral. Again, be mindful of your body. Any joint pain, back out of the exercise a little bit. Muscle pain is okay. Muscle pain is good. That means you're working hard. Whew. All right, I'm gonna get set up. We've got goblet squat coming up first. All right, so we got our wide earth stance, toes at 10 and 2, weight to our chest, or goblet squat here. Let's go. Just make sure if you're holding this weight, your shoulders are relaxed, you're not scrunched up trying to hold the weight. I'm just doing a little foot check. Just tell one leg is much tighter than the other. So I keep looking down at my feet, make sure I'm even, that I'm not off to one side, because I'm like, something feels funny. But I think it's just I'm really tight on one side. Awesome. All right, we've got alternating back lunge. If you want to hold weights here, hold them down by your side. We step back, knee comes down, up. Remember, knee coming to the floor, completely optional. It's been years since I've been able to put a knee to the floor. So no judgment from me if you're not there. That's quite all right. As you'll see, I'm opting for no weights, because for me, this full range of motion is so new. It is plenty. Also, just watch your step back, step straight back. A lot of times we tend to either step out too wide with our back foot, or more often than not, too narrow when we get where we're sort of on a tightrope. Think you're on train tracks. All right, our sumo squat. So that's our heavy weights in the middle. You can wide out, toes at 10 and 2. Whew. Weight down, tuck that tail, we drop, zipper those legs up. Good. I do literally imagine that I'm zipping a zipper up the back of my legs. Gives you some great booty activation. 15 seconds. My spidey senses must go off when we get to about 45 seconds of work. I feel like every time I look at the timer, it's about 15. All right, we've got alternating curtsy lunge. So this is one where I said, I'm noticing some discomfort. So I'm not gonna take mine very deep. Whoop. And again, like I was talking about, I get very distracted by the limitations of my space. I get worried I'm gonna kick something. So sometimes I think my form gets a little weird because I'm trying to stay in my confines. So just take that out of your equation. Make sure you've got plenty of room to move. Whew. Legs are telling me all about it. We're almost there, guys. All right, we got that alternating lateral. I'm gonna do one. We step out, weight shifts, we push back to center. Main thing, guys, always is to set that hip, set those hips back. Don't let them lunge out and push your knee over your toes. That knee should still stay behind those toes. I did it again. Just looked at the timer, it was 16 seconds. All right, that's our last 5-minute set. We're down to our 4-minute set, the upper body. Catch your breath. We've got a minute. I'm definitely having some back tightness today, so I'm just gonna stretch it out a little bit. About 34 seconds. Ooh, that feels good. Oh, that's the money. So we've got our 4-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, 1 minute. We just have to finish one more round, guys, and we will be done. We've got 15 seconds. Go ahead and get yourself set. We're under 10. Grab those weights. We got our overhead press. Let's do it, guys. Remember, like I said, you want to keep your shoulders relaxed. The sides of your arms should not touch your head when you come over. The sides of your arms are touching your head. Chances are you're shrugging your shoulders up when you push up. Keep them down in those back pockets. About 15 seconds. Sweat just dripping. And it feels good out here. This is pure work sweat. Woo! Yeah, this is not environment sweat like all summer. All right, we got a reverse fly. Just got a little bit of bend in those elbows. We open up. We're squeezing between those shoulder blades. We lead with the elbows. Our arms are pretty stationary, so we're not pulling back like this. We've got that bend stays. We open. It's almost like you're holding a big beach ball and then you're dropping it. Wrapping back around it. Drop it. Wrap around it. Drop it. 13 seconds. Almost there. All right, we've got our row. Woo! I am sweating, out of breath. All right, shoulders roll back into those back pockets. We bend, engage that core, straight back. Try to relax that neck and shoulders. They really want to scrunch up when we pull arms back. So we've got to really tell them, I don't need you today. I don't need you for this exercise, neck. It's all back here. Almost there, guys. Whoa! I thought for sure it was going to say 13 or 14 seconds. All right, bicep curl. Let's go. You know you're sweating when I just said bicep curl and spit was like, or sweat was flying off my lip. Remember, slow and control. Maybe it's just me. These weights feel like they weigh twice what I know they do weigh. Hang tough, guys. 18 seconds. Keeping them shoulders locked in. Elbows locked to the side. Man. All right, we got a 45-second break, you guys. We've got Spider-Man push-ups, the deadlift, bridge with skull crusher. So I'm going to, I think I can put at least a little bit of my weights away. We've got 30 seconds here. Whew. So yeah, let's see, we need our deadlift weight, our skull crusher weight, and that's gonna be it. Man, 15 seconds. These 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s are crazy. You know, it's like we're doing heavy lifting. You know, we're not doing cardio, but we're doing cardio. All right, so we've got our hands in push-up position. We come up on our toes. We're gonna drop our chest down. And as we drop down, lift to the side. Try not to let your weight shift from side to side. Try to stay to your center. Both shoulders dropping straight down towards the wall. Knee flares up and to the outside. Like you're trying to touch your elbow to your knee almost. I'm not telling you that's what you need to do. That's just sort of the direction that you're going. Whew. All right, we got our deadlift. So it's gonna be your heaviest weights, most likely. Gonna iron those pants, flat back, bending those knees, hips sit back. Iron those pants, squeeze to stand. Good, good. Now this is when I coach to death. So I'm trying to keep quiet, let you think about the things I've taught in the past. See how much you are calling your own, just under 15. Whew. All right, we've got that bridge with the skull crusher. Trying to set that up. And I'm going back to the heavier weights on my skull crusher. I dropped weights last set and that just wasn't quite enough. All right, so we're here. We push up in our bridge and we drop back, squeeze up. So just make sure you don't become so distracted by one part of the exercise that you forget the other. So don't focus so hard on your skull crusher that your hips start to drop and lag. Really push up into that bridge. Don't get so distracted by your bridge that your skull crushers become dangerous. Just check in with each one of them. All right. Whew. We are almost there, guys. We've got the 2-minute round and we've got the 2-minute rounds, our 1-minute V-sit hold, and we are going to be done. So that is less than 5 minutes total, breaks included. So we've got our plank jack. So remember, you can be high or low in your plank jack. If you're high, we've got big starfish fingers. We come up into our plank. We engage that core, and then we hop. Try to land lightly, no big thuds. Have your gaze slightly out in front of your hands. You don't want your neck tucked down. If you need to modify, that's your modification. Just make sure you're keeping your booty low, no matter what version you're doing. Sometimes when we jump, we tend to do this. Keep low. Almost there, guys. Woo. All right, come around to your back. We've got waterfall crunch. So we are here. Hands up, chest pulls up. String to your chest, pull. Hang tough, guys. We finished this. We've got a short break, and we've got 1 minute left. And our head stays in line with the spine. We're not pulling through our head. You can support, but don't pull. Support only. We become real tempted to pull once that hand goes behind that head. Beautiful. All right, guys, we got our short break. Got 25 seconds left, and then we've got our V-sit hold, and we'll be done. So again, I'll walk you through that progression because I think it's really important. Again, our ego kicks in, and we keep telling ourselves, even though we're floundering, that we've got it. Nope, I'm still holding it. Still holding it, I'm good. And your lower back will pay the price. All right, so I like to wiggle, get kind of the cushion from under the seat. Sit high, light support under those knees, chest comes up. And we lean back, we let go. So step 1 is hold on. Step 2, let go. If you're good there, lift those feet up. String, pulling that chest up, arms back into their sockets. You can also meet in the middle. Tap down. That's a good middle. If you find yourself back here, come back to modification. Otherwise, we hold. Fullest version is to extend those legs out. Totally your option. I'm going to try to hold it for the last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, awesome. All right, guys. Whew, that's me slipping in my sweat. That's what that is. All right, guys. We are done. I've got to stop the timer here so it doesn't tell us to keep going. There we go. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that workout. I know it's a twist to a lot of our, we tend to live in kind of that boot camp space, working out for reps, going heavy, slow, controlled learning. This is different. We're moving fast, fast, fast. Basic exercises, fast paced, still heavy weights. So that's where you get all that cardio, because you're lifting heavy, but you're going back to back to back to back with short breaks. So that's why you might notice maybe you're sweating more than normal, you're huffing and puffing, when really the only thing that we did that's traditional cardio was those plank jacks. So it's just great to experiment, right? And keep learning, keep finding new ways to work out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is great if you have a short amount of time. I know we did it for an hour today, but if you were looking for more of like a 30-minute, 40-minute workout, just do 2 rounds. You're still getting great work, super quick. All you need is a timer. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun with it. I hope you're sweating and huffing and puffing just like me. I thank you so much for working out with me. As always, I just ask that you share. Please get the word out with what we're doing. If you want business cards, anything from me, happy to share those with you. Also, if you are interested in any tank tops or t-shirts, I do have a merch page on my website, strongstylefit.com. There's a merch page now. You can't order from the page, but you can see what we have to offer, and then you can place the order with me, and I'll get it taken care of for you. So if you have any interest, just let me know through my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those things, email, website. I've got it all. So guys, thank you. If you do wish to donate anything for this workout, again, it is the only payment I receive for these workouts. Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me. It is sincerely appreciated. Guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Mwah.